Hello, this is Flannel Boy again, and I swear there was a time when Jack Black was not a joke. It's not to say he wasn't always in comedy, because he was, but he was better at it. He was on Mr. Show for a bit in the mid-90s, and then followed up with a bunch of films that worked to his advantage without putting him in the starring role. Jack usually plays a crazy friend of the main character, like in The Cable Guy or High Fidelity. That last one especially had him at his best, the music-obsessed record store geek who was kind of proto-hipsterish in taste but insanely jerkish in enforcement of that taste over the entire store, and irritating John Cusack's character. This type of person might not be a stereotype, but he does exist, and if he exists, he is Jack Black. I've seen this type of militant attitude myself. Stupid FYE throwing me out, didn't even have any failure CDs. And part of that is just because it's who Jack Black is. He's been a musician longer than he's been an actor, and a comedic one as well. He knows the scene, especially the metal or heavier rock scene. He also seems to have an earnest taste for older music. It isn't just the fact that his breakout role was in a record store in 2000, long after vinyl's death. His specific brand of metal tends to be a throwback more to the likes of AC/DC or Deep Purple or Led Zeppelin than what metal had become by the late 1990s.
Everybody sucks, you don't really know why, but you wanna justify ripping someone's head off.
Yeah, that. His whole comedy metal angle I see is more of an 80s thing, not quite the glam stupidity that was going on then, but more in the themes of the metal bands that were more serious than Motley Crue, but less hardcore than Slayer. You know, the kind that sing about ancient Norwegian legends and stuff like that. School of Rock was his first starring role, and he brought his metal to the forefront with it. And it worked because it was him. It might have had a somewhat boring production, a lot of shots of him just staring at a preppy classroom, but the wait for when he gets to teaching the rock and roll is well worth it. That scene where he's writing dozens of bands up on that board is all Jack.
So, who do you like?
Christina Aguilera.
No.
Puff Daddy.
Wrong.
Liza Minnelli.
Oh, what do they teach in this place?
Oh hey, another Cusack. And hi, Miranda Cosgrove, before Dan Schneider corrupted you. The soundtrack to that thing has the greatest from all the old metalheads like AC/DC, The Who, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, but goes into the punk scene with the Modern Lovers, The Clash, and The Stooges, a newer style metal band, Metallica, and a David Bowie song. There is no movie that cannot benefit from just a bit more David Bowie. Case in point. Also, it featured the Black Keys while they were still newly signed. Okay, enough of the good stuff. Now, where did Jack go wrong? It's actually hard to tell. Hit-or-miss careers have less well-defined shark-jumping moments, and Jack's been in bad films as long as he's been in good ones. Most of these were bit parts, though. Yeah, those of you who know Jack Black's career probably think you know where this is going. Oh look, it's about shark jumping, and in Jack Black's worst movie he played a shark, ha ha ha, no. No, that movie may have been terrible, but everyone recovered from it. Will Smith, Robert De Niro, Martin Scorsese, Angelina Jolie wasn't that good in the first place. Whatever, it was a stupid kid's film, and if Biodome didn't kill him, this wouldn't. So I don't have an exact date for this, but I'm going to give the year 2005. The reason for this is that the movie was released in 2006, but I knew from the advertisement that it was going to be bad. Take a look at this poster, and you will see what is wrong with this movie in a nutshell. Oh boy, a one-dimensional fat joke. And he gets to show off his fat as part of a wrestling outfit. Look, he's in Mexico, which is not only known for the wrestling, but for its food, which may make people fat, like Jack here. And oh, look right at the title, why they do have nachos in Mexico. And if you go ahead and watch it, it's exactly what you expect. Except there aren't any Cusacks in this. He's a cook, which means he gets to make the nachos. Or, if the kids are especially lucky,
Deep fried chicken.
This thing was not only produced by Mike White, yeah, I know, Jack Black and Mike White, tee-hee-hee, who was the reason School of Rock had boring stretches, but was directed by Jared Hess. That was the guy who made Napoleon Dynamite, a film that was kind of just famous for being awkward. So most of this is just long shots of people not saying anything, and when they do a joke, it's either supposed to be funny because Jack Black is fat, or funny because it's awkward. It is actually funny, never. Oh look, orphans means he's a good guy. Even worse, the music isn't what he usually does. They kind of leave it to Danny Elfman, who I usually like, and Beck? As in Mr. Soy un Perador? Aw, come on! I know you and Jack White were into Mexican music at the time, no relation to Mike, but you could have done a better movie than this. Thank you. Thank you, Beck. But anyhow, they don't let Jack himself do any of that rocking he does best. The whole thing is just old Mexican music, and when you strip away the rockiness, the crazy attitude, then all you've got left is fat. And fat isn't funny. And after they broke the fat card, they kept using it. Kung Fu Panda had half the jokes on fat and half on attitude, so it was only half as good as it could be. It's basically just a bunch of fighting, the late 2000s trademark of turning an otherwise regular film into animals. And they made a sequel? Why? Did you have a 3-movie contract with DreamWorks, Jack Black? I'll make it 4. Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny had The Rock, for sure, but the humor was pretty much all in the "look at me, I'm swearing at my parents and copying rock star moves and doing drugs," and Satanist Dave Grohl. None of which is funny anymore. Tropic Thunder was hilarious, but it's hilarious because of Ben Stiller and Robert Downey Jr., and especially Tom Cruise, while Jack Black starts off with an extended fart joke. I know it's self-parody, but any movie where Jack Black gets upstaged, he's not doing his best. Year 1, Gulliver's Travels, all of it downhill. Okay, now for somebody who never jumped the shark. John Goodman is fat, Jack, fatter than you. But when the Coen brothers used him, he was funny because he went nuts. And that's when you were at your best. But to my knowledge, there exists no movie, let alone several, whose entire joke revolves around the fact that John Goodman is fat. You can be funny without making fun of your weight. 2005, the year Jack Black jumped the shark.